saying welcome back. We're going to be talking American Truck Sim. What are we talking about today? We're talking about some info they've posted, which I think is interesting, and I just thought we should check it out. So, this was posted as of Saturday, March 2nd. They did a research trip to Missouri. So I was always wondering, how is it that they get these maps and things set up? Because if you look at so what I've been running, you guys already seen it. I've been running coast to coast, some Reforma, different map additions. And so with coast to coast, it looks like a generic slap of everything, and nothing really makes sense, right? Like, except for interstate names to a degree. And of course, they're chopped up because you couldn't put a one-to-one, because that would be a massive amount. With that being said, being that it would be a massive amount of data and information in the game, I always wondered, right? So we're gonna see what's going on, because like I said, coast to coast is not this, right? It's not SCS. It's like, I think, other people working to generate game playable area, right? But anyway, let's see what they got to say. So it says, last year, a few members of our American Truck Simulator map team traveled to the USA to explore the state of Missouri and its surroundings. Along the way, they were gathering references and insights for our upcoming Missouri DLC, and this blog post will offer you a peek, right, into the team's exciting adventures. So clearly, that's where they went. Now, let me say something about this. So driving in different states, right? I saw this and I was like, interesting, right? I never paid attention, especially in the state that I'm from. You don't commonly see this, like minimum speed limit and then the speed limit. That was a shocker to me. So it's just like, wow, interesting. It tells you how much traveling I do, but I'm going to do more traveling, so it's okay. All right, it says a team consisting of Patrick, Pavel, Ilona, Elle, and Annie visited not only Missouri but also neighboring states. Every time we go to a state we will work on, it gives us a new perspective on what is typically for that area, what the atmosphere and the character of the state is, right? So that's interesting. So when you look at American Truck Simulator, like, so again, I have the add-on maps and then I have the actual SSC content, and you can see clearly, like, it's a big difference. Like the add-on stuff, Reforma, Mexico, all that stuff. Yeah, I've never been to Mexico, but I couldn't tell you if any of it's like real. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's kind of created, somewhat real. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't tell you anything. But these people go and survey so that they can do the best of their ability. They're not getting the one-to-one, but to the best of their ability to portray the state accurately. So like, again, when you look at coast to coast, I don't know if any of you have that, but I do, and I've shown you in gameplay. We've gone through different states, and it's kind of the same thing. Like the businesses, it's like all the stuff is like, it's like they've copy and pasted is what I want to say. So that's why this is important, that they're doing this. It kind of even makes me wonder if I should even play the map setups that I have, or if I should just play SCSs, because there is a big difference from copy and paste to actual content created by SCS. It goes on to say, what is the purpose of visiting the state in person when you can just find reference pictures or use Street View? One gets a quicker and more accurate view of what might be considered generic. So by visiting a state, we shorten the research time and refine the results so that we can order from our asseters what best describes the area. Missouri is considerably hillier compared to Kansas. The landscape is more rolling and the whole state looks greener. So there it is. So they're going to take that information mainly to get the generic flow of the state, right? So as they get to travel around that state and around, as they've said, surrounding states, they get a good look and feel for what's going into design and makeup. And this just, again, we're looking at pictures of them actually boots on the ground, which is the important part, because you can see here they have the ability to accurately portray, because look at the areas that they've seen, right? Look at the things that they've seen. You can see they have the, well, you know, SCS cannot use business names, legal reasons. But for the modern community, we already know. So interesting there. More pictures. Wow, the cave entrance, right? This is something that I've never seen with my own eyes, but I would love to be able to drive in this via American Truck Simulator. And I'm glad that they are, again, that this group of people for SCS has traveled. I'm getting excited thinking about hopping in. I'm going to probably cancel those other maps and just drive the original stuff that they have, just so I can be, you know, a little more, what you say, a little more realistic atmosphere and environment to the sim and gameplay of the sim. All right. Captivated by the city's rich history and vibrant culture, Pavel found himself drawn to St. Louis' unique charm. I liked St. Louis the best. Quote, I was intrigued by the Gateway Arch right in the heart of downtown, so we should definitely see these things in the content. Goes on to say, I had the privilege of looking up at the very top of the Gateway Arch, and the city's view from 200 meters up was phenomenal. I will be creating this city for our players, and the fact that I was there makes my job a lot easier, as it made me realize what the real landmark of the city is and what definitely needs to be in our game, Pavel says. Quote, since I've seen American cities live, I've decided to build more of them in our game. I've decided to build more of them in our game. That right there is 100 right there. Okay, more in our game. Building cities in our engine is a challenge I like to take on. Besides the cities, I love the local nature as well. America is absolutely amazing and hides a lot of beauty, says Pavel again. All right, so clearly they're going to be working on the cities, the American cities for the game. So clearly that's what's being said here. So we have that to look forward to over the period of time as they continue with the increase in technology to be able to do these things. Now, obviously, older PCs will struggle, especially the way that I don't know if it's the engine of the game, but like when you drive into cities, regardless, when you drive into a city, the game gets choppy real quick. And I don't know if it's because of all the shaders and everything happening inside the city. You'd have to pay attention. So if you look in the cities when you're driving at your red lights and you look out the window, and it's not something you'll commonly do if you're pushing a button on a keyboard or on your steering wheel, but if you have something like Toby or something, you'll just look over and it's like, oh, you're looking out the window. So it's kind of more convenient and natural. So when you look over, you'll see dogs walking around. You'll see people doing things. You'll see people walking, sitting in seats. You'll see activities like, I don't know, you probably saw one of the a recent video that's posted. Maybe I was driving to do a drop. Nope, I did not post that video. I was doing a construction delivery and I was in the woods, and I was driving back around to go drop the trailer off, and you can see behind the trees there was heavy equipment breaking the trees and pulling them out the ground, so you could see that stuff was happening. So when we talk about American Truck Sim and why your game can stutter, it's like a lot of stuff is happening in the background. I don't know what they would do to improve that, fix that, if changing the engine. I don't know. That's not for me. But when you get into those cities, it's choppy, and they have a lot. In my opinion, to deal with to make it run smooth. So if you're with an older PC, it can be a little tactical, right, to get it to run pretty good. This is why, over time you want to be building your PC regardless, because games are going to change, they're going to evolve, and they're going to require better technology. So picking a good setup, and I know it's all about cost. All right, so I'm not rich. Cost is, I bought a Ryzen 5 6-core 12-thread. I got it on sale for like $100. It was like $160, but I think I don't know, stuff like $100 or something. So that allowed me, because I already bought a board that could take that chip. I think it was an AM4 plus board or something, I don't know. And it had a few features, and I got that board on sale again during a holiday season or event when it was extra cheap. So tactically setting up your computer, right? And it was cost friendly. I cannot afford to build a powerhouse and a monster. I got too many responsibilities to do that, as a lot of you would. Now, for those of you who do this for a living and have time to do this for a living, of course, it's a business expense. So I get it. But if you're trying to be cost effective and affordable, I mean, hey, you'll be older generation, but you can probably go to a Ryzen 5. You can probably go with an AM4 board. Your choice when you talk about a graphics card. You got some entry levels that are pretty good, like a RX 6600 or 6650 or something like that. And then 6700s, and the price starts to go up a little bit. And then you have like a a RTX 3060, 2060, well, I don't think a 2080 is, if you can get your hands on it used, you can probably find it affordable. I'm not sure, but trying to be cost friendly and effective just to run a game, you've got to be on your P's and Q's. And there are definitely a lot of YouTubers out there who can send you in the right direction to building a pretty good computer setup at a very good cost friendly budget. So I'm not the one for that. I built my rig based on what I could afford to do at the time, and like, to the best of my ability, I have what I have. It's not the best, it's far from the best, it's just okay. And I would love to improve it, but I just do not have the funds. I will get to it though. I will get to it. All right, let's continue. Because you see, we're in the caves right now, right? The underground, as they would say, bases, right? We hear a lot of this talk here in the United States about, conspiracies, right? But here, they're down there, and I would love to be able to drop off deliveries in here just to get a sneak peek at what they put in their design. I don't know what they're going to be allowed to put in the design, but just from them saying that being here helps them to be as closer to what we're after is like awesome, right? And looking at this bridge setup, I've never seen a bridge setup like that, obviously, right? Because I don't live there. So that would be really interesting to see that, right? Or to be able to drive that. Then we're going to look over the city. It's pretty interesting. One thing I would love to see, though, while we're talking about this, is more work with the shaders, as far as trying to shade it more accurate to realism. Like, it's really a colorful game, and so that's why I'm playing with the shaders myself. I'm using what is it called, something shade. I'm using some app, whatever, and it allows me, it sets it for the game, so I can go in and change the shaders myself. But something SCS I would say would be awesome is to work on your shading as far as realism, right? Because changing some of the characteristics in the shading does bring it a little more closer to a realistic look, right? Because the feel is already there. But like those shaders, right? And then whatever it is causing the cities to bug out so bad when you drive through them. Some things I would love to see worked on. But I'm loving the game, obviously. All right, so it goes on to say St. Louis was probably the favorite city of the whole team, as it captivated Patrick as well. quote, "My favorite city in Missouri is St. Louis, a city with an amazing atmosphere and a unique skyline due to the arch," he goes on to say. "I also like Cape Girardeau, where we mapped the bridge with a drone." Oh, so here they're mapping, right? So this is interesting. I wonder if it's the same way they map tracks, right? And if that's how we're getting these things set up. Interesting there, but they use a drone to do that. It says, "We like to take a drone with us on trips to get to places inaccessible to humans with a camera and see things from angles not visible from the road, which helps us model them better in the 3D world. Most often these are bridges, dams, and road construction on hillsides. In Colorado, our team used the drone to map out the terrain outside the road and were able to better model the $1 Million Highway, which is a success according to the reactions of the players. So we want to do the same thing here," says Patrick. So again, I mean, that is awesome. So again, this is why, playing those add-on maps. I'm not sure about Reforma. Again, never done the Mexico thing, but as far as like coast to coast, it's kind of pointless because all those other states are like, it's really, I'll probably end up deleting coast to coast because it really has no real effect. And then some of the island places, like, I don't know, it's, unless there's a team that's actually doing stuff like this to map it out right and put the right stuff there, it's like, it's really getting further away from realism, in my opinion. All right, so here's the dam. Pretty awesome. We'll probably see that, and I'm only assuming based on what they're taking pictures of, they're letting us know what we should see in the Missouri content. That's what I'm expecting at this point, because if you're saying this is what you're looking at and you don't model it, then it's like, interesting, what are you guys doing? So I totally suspect that these are the additions we're going to see in the Missouri content. Let's move along. It says the team has to get ready ahead of the trip to take as many insights as they can from their journey. We already knew which towns and roads we would be doing before our trip, and this allowed us to better prepare for it, right? Because you can't get every road, every neighborhood, every street. You're trying to do one-to-one, and like, even to do one state one-to-one would probably be, in my opinion, just guessing, maybe 100 gigs worth of data. I would just speculate. That would be crazy to try to get every road in. Like, that's crazy. You probably have to do a regional based game, and it'd be like regional based, and you'd have to play each game based on that, because that'd be too much stuff for the computer or a console to try to load up just so you can drive it. It'd have to be a pause and load of the whole nother state when you get ready to cross state lines. Like just imagine you're leaving your state. Let's say your state is Missouri. You're leaving your state and you're going to the next state. I would imagine if you would have one-to-one to get every street and road there, which even truckers GPSs don't do, clearly. That's another conversation. But if you were to try to do that, just to have every street and business and everything there, you would probably have to do a load screen, and that load screen would probably be a 2-3 minute load screen just to go into the next state. Now, would that be worth it? I don't know, but it'd definitely be something that would have to be thought out properly to do that, so I'm not sure. I would just say that I don't think it's something they would easily be able to do, and it is what it is. But this is good, because even the size that they bring everything, they're doing the best of their ability to put all the stuff in there, that compressing it in there to make it as close to real for us as they can. So it's definitely good. It goes on to say, I focused on Jefferson City, the Ozark Lakes area, beautiful road from Springfield to Branson, and a little bit of Branson as well. Branson fascinated me with its atypical architecture and the beautiful surrounding nature. Ozark Lakes appealed to me with their natural beauty and the vast array of boats. In Jefferson City, I had a funny incident at a car wash where the change machine took $20. Okay, that's awesome. All right, well, how do you implement a car wash that takes your money? You don't. All right, so we got more pictures here. Maybe being that they're showing us these pictures, these again will be some of the locations that we should see as relevant places inside this Missouri content. All right, so just something we'll definitely be looking for as they produce this content. And I don't know what this is. It says L shares the highlights of the journey from the bustling streets of Kansas City to the scenic beauty of St. Louis and Joplin. He goes on to say my favorite places were explored, where Kansas City with its underground warehouses, there it is right there, underground warehouses, which, you know, I'm thinking here, right, underground warehouses. But let's continue. St. Louis and its brewery, Branson and Joplin, the city I will be creating in our game, so Joplin should be there. Was particularly exciting to see in person. Unless they're saying all of those items they're going to be putting in the game, right? I was especially impressed by the landmarks and wall paintings at the Route 66 Mural Park. Another aspect of Joplin that I'm eager to recreate is the large truck stop along I-44, where we took a brief break. Okay, so clearly they've just told us a lot of the locations that they are going to be putting in the game. Maybe we will see these murals on the side of this particular building, right? In the Missouri content. They definitely took the time to get pictures of this stuff, so I'm really hoping that these are the things that we'll see in the Missouri content. Then they got a video which I'm not going to play. So yeah, interesting indeed. Is looking forward to what's going to happen with the Missouri content. They do have a video, so you can watch that. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay. So they're showing us everywhere they travel to. This must be all the drone footage. That's what I want to see right there. I want to go in there and do some drops. All right. Okay, so when they're driving the roads, they're recording the roads they're driving with the camera set up on the top of the, obviously they can't use those business names, right? So let's play that back. Let's go back one more time. Let's watch that again. There's the arch. So we definitely will be seeing this in the Missouri content, the city, which we should see. There's the what you say, come on, dam. All right. Underground storage. Or farmland, which we see a lot of already in the game. All right, so yeah, we got a lot of stuff to look forward to with the Missouri content. So anyways, we can see how they did it, and we can get a kind of a what to expect based off this. So anyways, yeah, I will catch you all in the next one.